IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. Feed me now.
Yo. Welcome to the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and our radio station. It's Sunday. We back in the building with my co-host, the one and only Mr. Marcus Shark in the building. What up, baby?
What's going on, dog? Can I do something real quick?
No.
Please, man.
No.
It's the beginning of the show. I don't want to save it to the end of the show.
No.
I got to congratulate two young ladies.
You just going to do it anyway?
I got to.
Okay,
man.
go ahead.
I got to congratulate two young ladies, man, that just graduated from college. Taylor Spears out of Mobile, Alabama, just graduated from Jackson State University.
Earl.
Oh, yeah. We definitely need the cowbell for this. the cowbell.
That's a lawsuit right now.
Wait a minute, and we broke. No, we didn't. All
right.
Did you check my block?
That's live too.
She caught it with a
right.
mitt.
Well, I didn't know it was coming.
You see, he looked away. Don't worry about it. All right, I'm sorry,
but
Marcus.
Taylor Spears, just graduated from Jackson State University.
Taylor Spears, congratulations.
Man, and Seneca Johnson just graduated from FAMU. Man, I'm proud of both of them young ladies. Y'all still could have went to Tuskegee. Got to get some HBCU set tripping in there. But I'm proud of both of y'all, man. Live your lives, follow your dreams, man, and it's all out here for you. You know what I'm saying? Where you got a whole life ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get it right. So take your time and enjoy life. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Congratulations to all the graduates of 2019, all the graduates, which my son is graduating from high school this year. Let's get it wrong one more time. My son is graduating this year from Chaz. So, you know,
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's a big deal. His prom is 31st of this month. So it's gonna be kind of crazy all the next 2 months with the graduation and prom and all that. But for all the graduates and all the prom people, congratulations, job well done. On to the next chapter. Ain't that right, Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then you can graduate from Tuskegee and come and
become a comedian.
All right, Marcus, we got a super hot guest in the house, man. Actually a very good friend of mine, mentor, scholar, historian, minister, prophet, what else can I say about this brother? I mean, so much to say, man. I worked for this brother for a very long time. I learned an awful lot about business. I learned an awful lot about interpersonal relationships. And I also learned a lot about comedy, hanging out with this guy at his shop, his barber shop and so forth. But nevertheless, let's just give it up for the one and only Mr. Roger Gardner in the building. Owner of
Brother Gardner
Images Barbershop, 6912 Southwest.
No, 6918.
6918.
You worked there all that time. You don't remember that address? 6918 Southwestern.
I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm getting old. I just knew it was a 69 and a 1. I didn't know what the other number was. I went with 12.
That's the house in the back. There's a house in the back.
It's a house in the back that's 12?
It is a 12, but it's a house in the back.
All right, well, go back there and tell them you're looking for 18. There you go.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, how you feeling today, son?
Well, I don't know if I'm just going to talk about that bell right now.
You don't know if you're going to talk about this bell.
I'm very distracted, but I'm overall.
Well, you know, we almost tore you up, man. But you're all right. Where you get you, did we?
Yeah, you did. I feel it throb.
Wait a minute. I think I see.
I have a mark before I leave.
I think we got a speck up there. I thought I blocked the whole thing.
No, it hit me.
No, okay.
Yeah, but it is so hard. It happens. That's what happens on
live. Yeah.
Anything subject to happen live.
Earl, like, don't look over here.
Right. Earl, we got to work on Earl's arm. Earl's arm has been failing us the last couple of weeks.
Well, then Earl needs to stop doing it.
He needs
to walk away.
We gotta go get water.
Or have it here before you get here.
No, we love to throw, so we gotta go get water. Earl, we gotta start pitching
the
this
next person they may gonna probably lay out and fall out and be unconscious.
Right.
And they're gonna run it all the way out.
Medic. All right, but anyway, so Marcus, I got Rod here because Rod is a very knowledgeable brother. Very, very, very knowledgeable brother in terms of a lot of different things. Religion being a high point for him.
Okay.
And you know me.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So that being a high point. But I will say this is a advisor for me. So when I have different questions or different things that I'm not real sure about, I turn around and generally get, the answer, or at least some guidance, or at the bare minimum get someone who has enough insight to at least get the ball rolling, and another viewpoint gets the ball rolling for me.
Point you in some sort of direction.
Take my mind in a different projective manner and so forth. But
and you listen.
Hey, what?
And you listen.
I don't know about
you say
that.
I listen.
I said
he listened for the time he's listening. I don't know how far it goes.
I listen very well, Marcus. I've learned an awful lot from Rod, man. Rod actually spun off from the days of being at Rod Shop, man. About 4 other barbershops sprung up out of
5.
his shop.
It's actually 5.
5.
Okay.
It might even be more than that if you really think about it. It might be more than that.
And one came back. Yeah.
But it's definitely been 4 to 5, and they all flourishing and all doing real well. He put together an elite crew of barbers that he entitled them the Shaolin Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Shaolin Temple of barbering, there was just certain things that weren't allowed. So we were different barbers.
You had to become a monk.
You had to become a monk.
Go through all 36 chambers.
Right. And the first thing you had to do when you came to work for Rod was bring all your clippers and lay it out in front of him. so that he can look over your ensemble and see, do you have perfect order working tools? Right. And if that was in order, then maybe you got a chance to get in there. Yeah, and then when you got in there,
we had a lot of funeral services to the front of the shop.
We absolutely did. Like if you use guards.
If you use any plastic guards, we took them out front and we would burn them.
Right. We have a funeral for all your plastic guards.
We gathered around and singing so hard.
Professional barbers do not use guards.
I've never seen one do it.
Professional barbers. If you're paying a premium price for a haircut, this guy should never ever put a guard on top of your head.
Yes.
That's a $10, $12 haircut. If you getting guards put on your head, it's a $10, $12 haircut. I don't really care how well it look or whatever the case may be, But that's just what that is.
Yeah, there are guys who
and there's some guys like Wano. Wano came in with them guards and he was a beast, and he still is. Matter of fact, I gotta get my guy Wano out here on the show as well. But he was a beast. He actually still is. I mean, Wano's
he's a master craftsman now. He's winning trophies and championships all over the state. So he's really one of the
shutting it down all over the state, man. Every time you turn and look up, Wano won another championship in barbering. So he's a awesome barber.
It's funny. I was talking. My barber has been trying to find somebody to fill a couple chairs in his shop. Nice barber, nice shop, the whole nine, good location, get walk-ups, all of that. And we were talking about young barbers that's coming up, and because his thing is the young barbers he tried to get, they coming in there, they smelling like loud, their clientele is crazy.
Absolutely.
They got restraining orders against their baby mama, and if they live around the corner, that mean they can't come to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
or the baby mama coming in there, which we seen before, coming in there and taking all the clippers off the stage. Remember that, Rod?
Right. Even terms of young.
Remember who was that shorty? Came in and took all.
No need to incriminate nobody.
No, we use the names on this show. We use the names. I hope Dr.
We
Lee
had
listening.
1 or 2, but I took care right away when it happened.
Man, they walked in there trying to take all that bad clippers off his stage.
It didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. But they definitely put forth the work. That's crazy.
They didn't know.
But no, the game is totally different, man.
In terms of young cats even becoming barbers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't even talk about trade no more like that.
Trade is where it's at. I'm a firm believer in that. No matter what you do, you should put a trade under your belt. Even if you got a college degree, put a trade under your belt. They can't take your trade away. Your trade will be with you forever and a day.
Let me ask you a question about your barber. The friend that's a barber. Is he an owner-operator?
Yes.
He's an owner-operator. How do he classify himself? I mean, you may not can answer because I will have to interview him. How does he classify himself?
In terms of, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah, see.
That's why I gave you the napkin, bro. I see we got you over here. We got you over here, Reek.
So is he, do you consider himself a barber or a haircut?
He's an owner. No, he owns a shop.
I know that.
He considers himself a barber, yeah.
You probably can't answer, but there's a difference in a barber and there's a person who cuts hair. And there's a big distinction. But the thing that I was getting to was most guys who open up a shop, they don't know how to craft other barbers. So those guys that's coming in his shop, as you described, with the loud, the rough edges, and the clientele, if he was a master barber, he know how to create another master barber. You take all that rough stone and you chip off the edges. By you knowing who you are, it's a familiar term. By you knowing who you are, you make them become what you are. And you show them by being the craft that they're trying to be. Now, if you just in there cutting hair and you really ain't built a strong base, most guys don't have a strong base like we did when we came. You saw it. When we came to Image, we were strong. I was strong, and then I had a counterpart that was Keith Harris. He was just as strong. So they followed the lead.
I actually came in and kind of surpassed y'all. You know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
that's where your first stand-up routine took place.
That is absolutely.
Coming from next door to the record shop. He used to work at the record shop.
Absolutely. My barber, he a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to, in terms of the whole mentor. So I feel what you're saying. I would consider him a master barber because cats that have been there.
No, I just couldn't have.
I know. I'm just saying in terms of cats that's been there, he's kept a certain kind of clientele. Like he has generations. You know what I'm saying? From talking grandfathers to their sons, to their sons. I've seen 3 generations come through there through his shop. So he's just not no sidewinder.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, because some people can cut hair and they do good in cutting hair, and some people can. But barbering, it's a philosophy that I have, and because I've been blessed to have. One day I said in count, we had over 70 operators that have been through Images.
Okay,
female as well as guys. And what you try to do, see, a lot of times you're dealing with guys who've never been in the industry. This is their first time have to deal with entrepreneurship, independence, customer service. See, the whole art of customer service. And a lot of times just giving a guy a booth and expecting rent, it just doesn't happen automatically. People don't learn the craft just by association or being in the facility. And I see a lot of guys who I know went into the industry because they opened up a shop, they beautified, they got booths for rent, automatically a guy gonna understand the system. And it doesn't work like that. You really have to be an educator in the game. You really have to tell them step by step what to do. And I'm not saying he doesn't do that, but if he's having, I would say don't give up on the young guy. That's all I was saying. Take them, knock them edges up. I've done it. I know what I've been there, and you have to sacrifice it because the chances are you find it. Here's the problem with the industry. Kendall was saying the problem is you're not going to find another barber so easily. When we get rid of a barber, your chair may be vacant for the next 3 years.
Man, that's what he's been going through about a year and a half.
It's like a team. It's like scouting a player for your team. First of all, the next question would be, what kind of shop do he think he has? Do you have a religious shop? You have a conscious shop. You have an urban hip hop shop. You want a quiet shop. See that's what I'm saying. You have to understand the theme. You know how it works.
Yeah, I got kicked right out.
So whatever sometimes guys don't know they're projecting their personality on the shop, and the shop has to be an entity in itself. So it just can't be when I come in the shop, I want gospel music on. Some people try to pull that. Well, everybody that comes in there don't listen to gospel.
That's true.
So you can't do that. You have to figure out what you're here for. And I always give this analogy. I don't know why we're on the subject, but it's a good subject. I tell people, when you go into Walmart, when you go into any other establishment, you don't know if the guy's a Jehovah's Witness, Baptist, Methodist, or atheist. It's irrelevant. A lot of times when we get in the shop owners, depending on what his religious doctrine is, and I have a strong religious belief, but I don't let it cross the threshold. I demonstrate it in principle, not in, if you don't.
You ain't preaching to everybody coming there sitting in your chair.
There you go. And if that
and nobody want to hear that, they wake up Saturday morning, they try to get back home.
So
I mean, maybe
it's
small corners of that. There may be small corners, like some people may come in and you kind of corner the guy and y'all have y'all talks and y'all have y'all conversations. But I don't think that a barbershop should be like, I've been in barbershops where it was Jesus barbershop. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't for the people. They was waiting on the Lord to come. You know what I mean? And they was getting their haircut until Jesus got back.
And all the saints to come get
That's it. They only wanted the prophets and the saints. So if you came in there as a client smelling like weed, they had a problem with that. You know what I mean? We never had issues with none of that. The one thing I loved about Rod Shop was that, and I think a lot of barbershops kind of do take into that, obviously, from the movie The Barbershop. You'll know that. But we kept everything diffused through comedy.
Okay.
So if there were issues or people kind of got off their square, as we called it, you kind of lost yourself or went a little too far, we kept everything comical in order to keep down the
I got you.
the angriness and the bitterness and so forth. So we had little things like, if let's say Marcus, you came in today and you, hey man, I don't feel like talking today. I'm going through something, leave me alone. No problem. We had a skirt. We'll go put that on your station. We'll go put the little skirt on your station. And don't bother him today. And you can't touch that skirt down.
If you take the
skirt down, then that means, or either you're gonna go home or you end everything that go on around here.
You become subject
now you can't say
right.
You don't want to be involved. If you take that skirt down, then you skirting out today. That's what it means. Skirting out today. Now, if you go skirt out today,
and it worked, and it was more so to keep everything in the sense of we're family. You're going to have disagreements. It's not that personal to turn into altercation. And it also reminded them that sometimes you may see a perspective that may not be right. So especially if you think so what we had this other philosophy, and we can go to another conversation, but we had another philosophy like this. Well, I did, and I put it into the shop. So say Kendall may say something that didn't nobody agree with, and he get to arguing, and then we beat him up, right? What did you have to learn to do when you know you're not winning?
Shut up.
Yeah, the best way is to tap out. Don't say nothing. Just go over there, cut your hair.
Be quiet.
They're going to keep throwing darts at you.
Don't say nothing else. I learned that. Now, that's one thing I did learn.
But here's the beauty of it. You give them their day. Then the next time, and everybody going to get a day. From me, everybody, you're going to get a day. And then you get the chance to, you can be more, Chandel was real theatrical. Because when it was on somebody else, he would act out everything. And you had to take it. But it made everybody laugh. The customers.
But some of the people who was giving it
couldn't take it.
They couldn't take it, Rod. They couldn't take it when it came back around. Oh, man. And let me tell you, ain't nothing funnier than watching, for example, is us three and we're in the shop cutting. Ain't nothing funnier than me and Rod roasting you every day. And you fight back a little bit, but you keep losing. But
most of the time it's based on something. It wasn't like
it wasn't just picking on the right.
No, it was like you may have said something. Maybe you may have made a comment didn't make no sense or wasn't no truth to it, and everybody tried to get you to see another side. And it could be something political, social, whatever. But it was never just we're gonna pick you out.
Okay, I got you.
It wasn't like that.
It wasn't no bullying.
No, it was based on, we called it on the deck. You say something on the deck meant the shop floor. If you said something open, because everybody have open conversation. Wasn't no private. You couldn't get your guy here
unless you get in his ear. Yeah. Right, you can get in his ear. Y'all want to have a small whispering conversation between two men in the barbershop.
You almost
enjoy yourself.
You almost had to be kissing him in his ear.
But if you talking and we can hear it, everybody can comment. It wasn't hey, I'm
talking
to my man. Like, no, we ain't trying to hear that. It'd be somebody just walked in and hear you say something, they just chime right in. Like, that was the open forum of the barbershop. And I always thought that was a beautiful aspect that I think a lot of us need to get back to, because it developed some relationships to this day that are unbreakable for myself.
It's a lot of bonds.
You know what I mean?
All the images clients are still interconnected, because I see them.
Yeah, and even some of the clients wind up becoming friends and hanging out, and they still friends to this day. So
that's the beauty.
It's a beautiful thing. And then now we got Keith Harris shop. He has his picnic every year, a barbecue every year, and all that. Uppercuts over there on 79th across the street from Bogan High School.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, great shop as well, man. But nevertheless, enough of the barbershop. I want to know, Rod. I got a question for you. I definitely want to have you on here and hear your thoughts on, or are you even familiar with the banning of Louis Farrakhan from Facebook? Are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it.
What are your views on the banning? Now, before you answer on this, I want you all to know that we're focused on the fact that they banned Louis Farrakhan, but they banned several people.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. It wasn't just Louis Farrakhan. There were several people that they felt were promoting negative content towards a race or gender.
Called hate speech, and he won't be the only one. See, and what people have to realize, and all blessings to the minister for all what he's done, all what he has done. Facebook is a private entity. It's not a public entity. It's a private, and they give you the opportunity to come on and put your content on for free. And that's why ownership, I teach about ownership and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
And anytime who's ever the boss can make the decision. So they felt, based upon their board meetings that they don't want in their format that they've created, and you've asked to come on, that they don't want that kind of genre. Now, Farrakhan does have some disturbing speeches depending on, and then you got to think about it. You know, sometimes we so-called conscious people, you go on if you consider them the enemy, you go in the enemy's format and talk smack to the enemy.
What you think
like he gonna sit there, got to take what you saying. It's okay. I'm gonna show you how much I'm the enemy. You off. You know what I'm saying? So
on somebody else.
On somebody else's platform, like somebody come. It's just like somebody come in your house, sit in your front room, and gonna tell you all your flaws and your faults in your house. Yes. So after so long, you listen. You say, okay, but guess what? Hit that dope. And by all laws and rights. See, don't confuse the freedom of speech as
that's true.
Freedom of speech is a government is a
public thing.
That the government cannot allows us freedom of speech, but you as a private entity, that's just like
I don't have to allow you to have freedom of speech.
Earl can shut these mics right now.
So let's put it in context.
Earl ain't gonna shut these mics down right now. Now you done went too far. So Earl shut these mics down. We're gonna deal with him hitting Rod in the head with this bell.
Right. So dealing with the fact that I don't, it is an ingest that his voice will not be silenced by no means.
No, by no stretch.
I just think that they need to create
it was on Facebook.
Right. Well, I think they need to create another format.
You saw I made a meme. They don't need another format. I was like, Final Call been here before social media.
Final Call's been here long before social media.
But that goes
and
to
the
show.
brothers ain't playing out there.
But that goes to show.
And I always buy it. Even if I don't read it, I buy it.
You got to get one.
But that goes to show how they have as much the work that they have done, they have to continue to stay relevant as far as in social media, meaning not just to the Final Call. So what they should have, this is what they should do. Now, I don't know if there's a Louis Farrakhan or Minister Farrakhan or Nation of Islam.net where all his information is uploaded.
It was
daily.
One at one point in time.
Well, see, at one point in time.
Final Call
that needs to be consistent.
So that need to be your platform. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
and then you can have people follow you there.
Yeah, and then you need an app.
Yeah, I have one. CopyNationTemple.net. Exactly. So if I have a content that I may not want to put on Facebook or YouTube, because YouTube can pull the same stunt as well. I can go to my
website
on my own net, and I can say what I want, talk as long as I want, and deal with any topics. That's the difference.
But now, see, Rod, this brings me to another point, because I heard several people kind of say this. Even Kanye made reference, and I catch black people doing this an awful lot. Yeah, I gotta say it. I catch black people doing this an awful lot. Why are we always looking for someone else to provide something for us to succeed, instead of, for example, Kanye West? I use Kanye. Kanye was talking about starting his clothing line, and he was talking about I know you all remember when he got into it with Sway. How Sway, all of that there. Sway made a very good point. Like, Kanye, why you can't do it on? You know what I mean? Like, you got a big enough name, you got a big enough platform. Why you can't start at the bottom in the trenches like Ralph did? Since you like, yeah, he like Sway, yeah, you got clothing line. It ain't no Ralph though, but Ralph wasn't Ralph the first 3 years it came out. Ralph wasn't Ralph the first 10 years it came out. Ralph wasn't Ralph the first 20 years it came out. So it's like, I don't understand why, what do you see in us is like even you just said, you have your Coptic Nation Temple site. There's so many people that won't do that unless it's backed by something that they deem mentally to be bigger than them. Mm-hmm. I come from a different mindset. My mindset is that I could build something just as big or bigger. That's my mindset. I could be a fool. I could be crazy for even thinking that. But my efforts are into, I don't have to feel like for example, the K Ferg Show. I don't feel like it has to go to GCI. I feel like I can keep banging it out, keep producing great shows, and eventually get just as big or bigger than a GCI. And then now you got to come talk to me instead of me trying to run and knock on your door. It's always better if they knock on your door. You know what I mean?
Well, I think first off, I remember when social media first got kicked off, and I was in a promotion game at the time, and people were thriving to have websites back then, and you use social media to push people to your website.
Absolutely.
So black, white, and different. I think social media made a lot of people lazy. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, this is my platform. This is it. I don't need a website. This is basically a free website.
This is right.
And like you know what I'm saying? You see that it's not.
Right.
You got to own your own. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said black, white, whoever you are, it really, a lot of people society got lazy with that. So people, a lot, you know, you get put in Facebook jail, this and that.
Facebook jail.
You know what I'm saying? You can't, moonlightentertainment.com, you know, Moonlight ENT, it's out there.
Is that what we're doing?
I just saying.
No, I'm not mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Promote your stuff. That's funny entertainment. But nevertheless, I'm not mad. I think people should always promote their platform.
My website stay out there. It's gonna be out there regardless how much I go out there. I mean, I need to be up on it more, but I try to push people to my website.
Absolutely.
I must have it.
Well, see, a lot of our black our people, I just said my people because most people don't claim us, but we don't. It's value and validation. That's what we suffer from. Value and validation. So a lot of us don't value sometimes the humble beginnings or the works that someone is trying to create.
Man.
Until our counterparts give it validation. Then
That's terrible, right?
Feels it has value.
It's kind of
we
like
do that amongst each other.
We do that amongst each other.
But we do that when it's time to get dressed. Who made that shirt?
Right.
I made it. The hell you mean? Who made that shirt?
I made it. From value and validation, you don't understand your value. You know,
well, you don't have a value if you need validation.
Well, we all have a value. You just have to recognize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to have self-worth. Your self-worth determines other people respect. So if you say I'm starting here, this studio is just as big as any other studio, is according to the value and then the validation you bring by the shows, the content, the time, the labor, and the work. And see, people will recognize it if you stay loyal to it. But if you start saying, well, I've been on for a year and it ain't moving. Well, it's called the humble beginning.
It's the humble beginning.
It's called the grind. It's called, I've always told you about the grind. When you were starting in comedy, I used to tell you, some of the things you should do. I used to tell you that you're doing the skits. I told you years ago, you should have been doing skits. I told you should have been doing.
Right. Let's stay on.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on one second. All right, listen, because this is the perfect time to take my break real quick. Now that you really ain't a better time to take the break right now. I didn't want the show to go there, man. All right.
I was gonna bring up what you said about when you level up, man. I ain't fooling with Earl no more, man. I'm like, man, you ain't got to do that. You got to stick with Earl, man.
You say what?
Now you say when you level up, you ain't fooling with Earl no more, man.
Oh, you say when I level up, I ain't mess with Earl no more? Man, I ain't mess with Earl no more. As soon as somebody call with a bigger show, I can't wait to get out of here. No, I'm just playing. I'm rolling and Earl rolling with me, and it's gonna be Intellectual Radio forever. That's just how I roll. You know what I mean? I'm a team player.
Remember what you just said.
I'm like a Mexican. If you find one of us, I walk off the job too. That's who I am. Man, you know what I mean? I'm like a black Mexican. But anyway, listen, I need to take a quick break. Absolutely, Marcus. Go ahead. Let them know we need.
We gotta take a quick break to get our next guest in here. Hold fast. Everybody that's following us on live, we still right here. Y'all can see what we doing.
Our show on IntellectualRadio.com.
They say it's my time, but I don't even feel like I made it. Running to the M&Ms, I know this shawty ain't getting shady. Thought I fell off, had a couple, then try to replace. Fell back, but you can't replace me. Nah. Can't replace me. Nah. Can't replace me. No. Thought I fell off, can't replace me. Can't replace me, no.
I got niggas I put on it, act like they don't know me. I got people smiling in my face, acting like homies. I remember a couple of times that I was down there homeless. Ain't nobody gave me shit, I had to hit my own. He was with me in the gym, I did it on my own. My little homie keep it on me like I go pump. I be flying these little on just like a drone. If it ain't about a chick, you don't need to hit my phone. Yeah, my feelings, I miss Tasha. I see demons in this vodka. Losing Pope made me a monster. I wish you was at my concert. Selling dope, that money constant. Dead presses on my conscience. Keep that 30, gotta be cautious. I lost homies, I take losses.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now. I'm starving. Yo. Welcome back to the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com and our heart radio station. I got my co-host with the most, Mr. Marcus Shark, still in the building. And we have our esteemed guest, Mr. Roger Gardner from Images Barbershop and Nation and Coptic Nation. Also, we just got our new guest in the building. She was running late because she is a workaholic. Put your hands together, make some love for the one and only Miss Mona Amache. Sean.
I told you don't ring that bell.
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Mona, look at his head.
Yeah, no, don't do it. Mona. So Mona is the one. Look, real quick.
He only rang the bell because he couldn't pronounce my name. So let's just
absolutely. I was trying to get the bell to go over.
Saying, don't ring the bell.
But no, Mona, do you see the top of his head?
Yeah.
You see that right here?
Gentlemen, toss the bell.
So explain what happened.
With Mona?
Mona, explain what happened. Like, we tossed the bell and he caught it, but he didn't catch it like you caught it. You see what I'm saying? Mona, what happened? What happened with Mona? What happened when you were sitting here and he threw the bell?
Yeah.
It came that way for you. Who? I was looking and it came this way.
I want to know, why haven't we hit him yet? Why are we hitting you? Because you're the one throwing it.
After the day, he won't be throwing.
He's having a day.
My attorney talked to him.
Okay. All right, we sorry. We gonna bring a couple pair of liners up to the shop. Thank you, Mona, for making your way in. I know you're a very busy lady. Mona has so much going on. She's starting a agency for comedians, and I think that is a fascinating thing. Any comedians in Chicago should, by all means, definitely link up with her and her moms.
Only good ones.
I think
only good one. Only good comics.
I wouldn't say
I'm calling anyway.
I would say you all want to do it because
I'm calling anyway.
You have to remember that you also have a program to help comics get
true.
better.
Yeah,
so we don't necessarily want to say just good comics, even comics like Marcus that want to get better. We want to invite them to be a part of it.
Right.
We're not going to put you on any shows. We're going to put you in this room. You know, don't worry. When you come out the room, you'll be ready. Don't worry.
Room.
We got a little yellow bus you have to jump on. Don't worry.
That's how they did at the comedy store. So you have to work your way up.
You got to work your way up.
I got no problem with that.
Mona Elmala has a very, very, very nice agency. I am going to be a part of that agency.
Okay. And
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm so grateful.
I am a big fan of Mona, but when I met her mother, I was kind of really, I was taken away a little bit. Like, her mother is, I've sat with an awful lot of people, millionaires, businessmen, accomplished businessmen. I've sat with it all. So I know when I'm in the presence of someone that is accomplished. And I wasn't sure when I was around Mona. But then when I got around her mom,
You called her Little G.
Yeah, I called her Little G because once I realized who the big G was, I was like, whoa. And I thought Mona was dope, don't get me wrong. And then when I met Mom, I was like,
it just don't fall out there like that.
You ain't quite as dope as Mom's. But don't get me wrong, you're well on your way, but Mom's is no joke. But anyway, I just had to get that out. So anybody that knows Mona, you definitely want to reach out to her and talk to her about that. And any schools, she has a program that we're working to put together to teach kids comedy and
might need to get
conflict resolution.
With our brother from last week, Brother Finney. Up at Tilden High School.
So we're gonna put that together. We're gonna put that together. Make sure that do something with Tilden also. Yeah, because if we ain't networking, we ain't working.
Check out monacomedy.com about our class. Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. We have research. We've done it from Berwyn. We did it at Finkel. We've done it since 2011. We have a lot of examples, and we just got back from South Africa, so we did stuff in South Africa. So please hit me up, monacomedy.com. Kay, any leads you have, any way you'd want to contribute when you're not busy, it'd be a blessing for all of us.
I can't wait to be a full part of any and everything you want to do. Phone call, I'm there. Outside of whatever, I'm there. But nevertheless, so what I want to kind of talk about now that we got Mona in the building, because I know Mona is very passionate about this, and I think that is very good, and she's very passionate about it, and that is the legalization.
You want me to go get my card?
Huh?
You want me to go get my card?
Yes. The legalization of marijuana and how it should be the liberation of the Black community. So we really have to focus on the qualifications and parameters that they have set out to say that you have to have a dispensary and the various things that you need to have a dispensary needs to be addressed. Okay. You cannot lock somebody up for the last 50 years for selling something. And now all of a sudden you sell it and you're going to blackball them out of the game.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And without them, it wouldn't even be a game to even consider to say, let's legalize it.
Right.
So therefore so I'm saying in essence, it's like,
that's deep.
But the ones that have created the opiate addiction, they're sitting there and on their yachts still talking stuff. So that's what I'm saying is like, if you look at the big game of it, the impact it has had on global America, America is the opiates have had far more detrimental effects on society.
Detrimental effects, period.
Yeah, than the cannabis situation. And
I don't know nobody ever died from overdose of weed.
You can't.
No,
I have yet.
No, I thought I was gonna die one.
I've had relationships end. I've seen relationships end.
You took your
relationships end over weed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I ended one over it. Every time I come back, she done smoked up all my stuff. This got to, I don't know how much longer we're gonna work out. You know what I mean? Like in that aspect. I've also seen marijuana diffuse some very difficult conversations and situations. I've seen that where people were probably gonna get into it and they went in the back and smoked together. They came out hugging each other.
Well, can I chime in on this? I want to go back to the topic that you just presented. So the word you said was liberation.
Liberation is the word.
Okay, so I still have not heard no one explain to me or give me the ideal how this will liberate us.
Well, first,
in what capacity, in what way?
Well, so first off,
consumption or what?
No, I think first off is where is the Black community? Where's the South Side community? Where's the North Side community? Where's the West Side community on getting cards, cannabis cards? So understanding what's actually going on, what's the methodology by which someone is being prescribed, let's say opiates, and they don't want that and they want cannabis. What's going on right now legally? So seeing stuff in the marketplace is one thing, but also just understanding in general, what's the process going on? That's one thing. Also, the number one in the United States, the number one company that's producing cannabis is based here. It's Green Thumbs Industry, GTI downtown. And they have markets across the country, but only in some cities where it's legalized are they full-fledged. So I guess in general, the liberation would come in just being aware of what's going on, learning from it from the ground up with the cards is the first thing. Once you get the card, then you get in. And a lot of these dispensaries, they look like jewelry shops. Oh, you go in, especially NewMed. Think about it. You go to NewMed on North Avenue, not far from Cabrini Green, where everyone off the North Shore were coming in, getting drugs and leaving. All right. That was back in the 80s. That's what made Cabrini Green the way it was.
That's why they put the dispensary in that area.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So you go in there now. You go in there, and because I get a card, because again, comedians are basically global reporters. We're watching stuff all day long. I go in, you're in one room, they give you a list of prices as if I'm buying a diamond or something. Then you go into another space and they're like, oh, hello, how are you? Now, before even opening up a dispensary, having a sense of how is this going? Because the way things are now, if some community members do not get involved and understand it, it's going to kind of go like this. People right now in Walgreens are stealing deodorant. Have you noticed, sometimes
they got locked the deodorant, toothpaste, all that up. My boy working Walgreens.
Exactly. So they go in, they take it, and they sell it on the street. So whatever's happening is I don't want people to become reoffenders of the same product, only the fact that it's now legalized. Does that make sense?
Well, definitely.
Okay. So,
but I think what you're saying.
No, you don't know what I'm about to say.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right. So
I'm talking about your earlier comment, but go right ahead.
So I still didn't hear no liberation in that.
That's what I was saying. I think what you're saying is what I'm talking about.
So what I hear is to offer another alternative
to buying it on
consumption.
I
heard the opium means that you want to get the people off of maybe harder drugs, and hopefully they can transition to getting a card to buy drugs that they can find in these dispensaries. So me being the kind of man I am, I posted on one of my Facebook posts about how to invest in these dispensaries, the bigger ones.
Which is what I'm speaking of.
All right. So, but it's about ownership. So now.
Absolutely.
Also sales. These guys are selling independent. So basically they're like a medical sales force.
Right. But also owning the dispensaries. Are we going to be able to control and own a dispensary? So the question was said that the people who work in jail years ago for selling it. Well, at the time, they broke the law. And just like under Prohibition, when you could not buy alcohol, we know the story of America. Chicago, the gangsters were going to jail, being shot, killed because they could not sell legal alcohol.
Absolutely.
So you cannot go back in retrospect and say, well, hey, y'all sold all this illegal drugs. Now you can do it. No, it don't work like that. Now, that was your option at the time that you felt you had to do. Then
the law was the law, is what you're saying.
The law was the law at the time. Now, the people who can go forward, those who are, to me, business-minded, don't look at it from a consumption standpoint. The problem is we consume it too much. We always end up on the consumption side.
I agree on that.
Alcohol.
I agree on that.
And who owns the liquor stores in our community? Not us.
Not us.
I agree on that.
We consume. We buy food, even chicken. They done tricked us with chicken. Hold on. Let me say this. They took the industry over. And I'm not gonna mention. I'm gonna mention the Arabs. They took the industry over with lemon pepper.
Okay, go ahead.
They took the industry over with lemon pepper. Black folks, they went
there
for
lemon
pepper. Lemon pepper. They put lemon pepper on chicken. Black folks went crazy, like, wow, this is the best chicken in the world. And we didn't grow up on lemon pepper chicken. I ain't never ate no lemon pepper chicken.
I still don't get it on my chicken.
It was either barbecue, gravy, or whatever.
Fried. I still don't mess with lemon.
But the point is, liberation it's a fact.
No, but I'm Arab. Well, I'm Arab, and so we occupied you guys with lemon pepper. That's, to me, I'm sorry, as a Palestinian, that's a Palestinian. I find that funny.
I'm gonna tell you what you did.
I'm funny. I'm just funny.
It's good. It's funny. It's a true humor, but it's true. It's humor and truth. So the reality is they brought the first formula from J&J, right? Okay. They did it just like a drug dealer. They brought the formula from J&J Fish, the first.
Don't even get me started on sharks.
To sell over.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
He took the same formula, went back to his community, and said, "Hey, look, I got the hookup. I know what they like. I know how to like it fried. I know how to like cook. But you cannot call it J&J. You call it sharks. You call it well. You call it golden. You call it this and that. It's the same formula reflipped to us. Absolutely. Now we forgot that we was raised on chicken.
Yeah.
My mama used to have fish fries on Friday.
We are chicken.
So how you gonna sell meat back to me? I couldn't go into their community and sell them the dish, even if I was Chinese.
Yeah, actually, yes, you can. You can. Have you seen the falafel at Subway? That's garbage, and I'm Palestinian, and that's garbage.
Overall, as a rule, it may be some small deception, but we're talking about liberation. That's the key, empowerment. So when I look at it, I look at it from a perspective of the lens that my people deal with, as you just mentioned, your culture experience. So I'm saying in our community, we can't go to Chinatown. I don't care. I could have been taught by Wang Shenyang. They're not going to come in by that.
They're not going to sell by kosher hot dogs.
Hold on, let's
you
go back to liberation.
Kosher hot dogs to the Jewish community.
What an entire black staff.
Freeing the people from liberation is to free it. It's about, first of all, freeing the people. What are we freeing?
No. People choosing to be free and take actions in such. So when I say getting your card, that only is giving you information in that. Being informed on the trend, that's the conversation of liberation. I could never liberate you. However, us having a conversation like, that's a good point. And then you take action in such, that's self-liberation.
But because I teach liberation theology anyway, so I'm saying liberation is a broader perspective. It has to have empowerment.
Absolutely.
To me, that card does not represent. Now, information is one thing. Information can empower you, but it does not put you in the power seat. Now, the power seat is they allow us to control the dispensaries in our community.
Now stop.
Now I don't know what the bells and whistles in that is.
Now stop. That is exactly the only thing I'm talking about. That's the only thing I'm talking about.
Also the sales force. So like if you're independent, so you have a dispensary and let's say I work for you as a sales team also for certain things. So understanding the sales force as well as dispensaries, not just one. Because otherwise you end up in an employee situation again.
Well, no. You're not really going to end up in an employee situation because what we're saying is that the black community, because of, for example, let me tell you the way that I see it. Here's the way that I see it. In the black community, selling the guys who sold drugs made the money and took care of the neighborhoods. When I was coming up, when I was younger,
absolutely. You see that in Brazil.
The dope man. I'm saying
in Brazil is the same way.
Wait a minute, man. Now don't do that. Now this is what happened. Now if you don't like, no, that's because when you was younger, you had a couple fights with them. Now let me now what happened was, Auntie needed a porch. Dude who was selling X, Y, and Z put the porch on Auntie house. If you wasn't going to school like you were supposed to, a lot of guys made sure you went to school.
Well, consider this is his perspective. Consider that's his worldview.
The same community.
But if this is what he saw, then you have to honor that part.
This is what I saw.
Okay.
This is what I understood and from what I say.
But you're romanticizing the.
I'm not romanticizing. I'm saying no. I'm not romanticizing. I'm not.
You're not saying that.
Just because I'm saying I see.
About the rule.
Is this what you're gonna do?
No, hold on. There's a thing called social capital. So when you bring down Cabrian, for example, you also bring down the woman who did all the hemming. One of the let's say neighborhood babysat. So there's social capital, there's actual capital, and there's sweat equity. So what you're talking about is social capital. Basically, the favelas in Brazil, any of the major wars that happened within is because it inhibited traffic coming in and out. So you do have a certain point that the guys inside the city that were selling stuff use their social capital locally and we're contributing. That's basically what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm basically saying with what's going on now with the legalization of marijuana, I'm saying that, for example, just hear me out. For example, you need $200,000 or $250,000
just in the bank,
sitting in the bank in order to even have a dispensary conversation.
Yeah,
that's not even the money using to spend.
I'm saying
that's not even the money using to spend.
I'm saying in the black community, you
have to be educated too.
I'm saying that.
Yeah.
You better. So y'all ain't gonna give me a chance.
No, we're ahead. We get it.
So I'm saying in the black community that you have to adjust these laws. You have to put things in play that will put people of that community in that power position in order to own a dispensary, which is going to generate millions and millions of dollars within that community. True. And we're tired of, I am tired of seeing anytime an edifice or a building or a business
or
Buddy
Bear car wash is getting on my nerve.
Is $100,000 or there's going to be millions of dollars made. It's being made, but it's being bagged up and taken out of the community.
One of the other things I saw too is that when CBD is being added into other products. So, for example, in Brooklyn, there's a coffee shop that adds CBD. So if this is going to be legalized, what are some of the other, and that's something I need to learn myself, is how can we revitalize a particular coffee shop that's already in the neighborhood where they can use it within, or is that another variable?
Well, I think it should be minimum, first of all, because I don't think that's the only means of economic survival for us. Because I think the whole
I don't think it's the only means.
No, let me say this. What I'm saying.
It's on the
first
table
of all,
of coming out.
Here's another thing you have to consider. She brought up the opium, in which the number one drug that has always been in our community is not the guy on the corner. It's the pharmaceuticals on the corner, because they get the mama, your grandmama, get the kids, they get the whole family.
Yes.
And then you pay them through a premium, and you feel good about it because you take 32 pills a day.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the number one drug dealer in the community.
Absolutely.
But so the problem that
they're not giving back.
I'm in they do give jobs. But here's the thing that I see in my community.
3-4.
I don't know what this current weed or all these mixing of the plants and the female and this and that. I don't think it's overall going to benefit us from a productive standpoint. It may make money, but then how's it going to affect the community? Because the young men in our community are already being, first of all, labeled, as well as, you can't even get jobs now. As they give the laws to pass it, the laws in the workforce hasn't changed. Because if you have to drop, you're still gonna have issues.
But 1 second. If you working, working at a dispensary, who dropping you?
No, I'm not talking about. But everybody in the community can't work at a dispensary. I'm talking about people who had to do a 9 to 5.
What I'm saying is, Rod, even if everybody can't,
I'm not talking about the dispensary.
Everybody can't work at a dispensary. But I'm trying to show you all a residual effect. When you put a business in a community that is going to make millions and millions of dollars,
that's not what I'm talking about.
That is going to generate an offspring of other
alcoholism. Alcohol make millions of dollars. What I'm saying, cigarettes make
we don't own the alcohol. We don't own the store. I'm not talking about from
the ownership. I'm talking about the consumer.
So you're talking macro level. He's talking micro level.
I'm talking about how it's going to affect the consumer, which is our young people in our community who's already consuming and having issues. Who's already having issues, even trying to advance forward and get to work, because everybody is not affected the same way by weed. She said replace the opium, but the weed.
No, I didn't. I'm
not saying replace it, but you're saying the drugs that is causing the problems. About you mentioned about the drug, but it has the same effect. Some of them. Have the same effect.
So first off, allow me to contribute.
Once weed is legalized, there's no more drug tests looking for weed.
And also it's safer.
You cannot. No, cannot. What drug test have you ever taken and they look for alcohol? Tell me, sir. Tell me, sir. Have you ever taken a drug test and they said, "Sir,
you ain't never went to take a drug test. You never went to take a drug test drunk, though.
Stop. I know people that done took the drug test drunk.
I don't think that's
you
going
can take a drug test drunk. They not looking for no alcohol.
I don't think that's
they don't come back and say, "Hey, we detect Hennessy in your piss." It's not happening. Once it's legalized, that's out the door. That
Also
opens
here-
up
There's no
an
people-
opportunity
I know
for
about
people
that.
to have jobs and be able to work.
I know about
because
that.
that's not something that you could be able
Because
to.
if you working, if
can't
you
look
operate
for what's
heavy
legal.
machinery, you
can't
still
look
go.
for what's legal.
It's not going. That don't make it illegal. It's just that. It's just that company's
job.
right. It's
So,
you can't do this
can I-
particular
let me-
job if you use.
Let me
them.
add something
What do you
in.
mean?
Let me just jump in real
That doesn't
quick.
even make logical sense.
Man, if you working a forklift, if you working at the steel mill,
You can't work under.
if you driving trucks,
Stop for a second.
and people still do
What
it.
they'll tell you is, sir. For example, I work construction. I'm a union labor. When they drug test you,
Don't lose your job on this. What you about to say?
Well, listen, I don't smoke weed, okay? But I'm a union labor.
Sorry, I was having something else I had
You
to talk
consume
about.
cannabis?
I don't consume cannabis of no form. So, liquid, whatever form y'all put, cookies, nothing, brownies. I don't consume no kind of marijuana. I am clean.
What's
Always
the funniest
have
set
been.
you ever did?
I always have been. I don't mess with it. You know,
No,
my grandmama told me stay away, and I stayed away ever since then. So what I'm telling you all is
On
what I'm
Sunday,
saying.
have you no shame?
No, yes. Have you no
Day
shame?
of the Lord, you're gonna lie?
I'm not lying, and you need to stop that because you don't know who's listening. So what I'm saying is, I have
He is
never used.
destroying this room right now.
First of all, you can drug test me.
All four of you that are
you
listening
can
right
drug
now.
test me. I've always passed. If you looking for marijuana, cocaine, any of that stuff, it ain't in there. I don't use it.
Okay.
But nevertheless, what I'm saying is that when I go to take my drug test, I got guys, because I'm a union labor, I got guys that are on a job with me. They're drinking at lunch.
Yeah.
We
it's
wind
so
up.
sad.
We
Why
wind
are we
up
looking at the
taking.
bigger picture
We
here?
wind up taking a
Alcoholism,
drug test right after lunch,
Alcoholism.
and there's not an issue. What I'm saying is that you.
But if he damaged, if he hurt somebody, and human resource come in, whatever, and they find out he had alcohol in his system,
then he's in
That's
trouble.
Let's look
Now,
at
this is
why
what I'm getting-
people
that's
feel
what
the
I'm
need
alluding.
to
That's what I'm
drink
alluding
during
to
the day
is that
first.
you have to, in order, it will
All sorts
turn
of
into, it will turn
social
into,
reason.
it has
Or
to
hours.
be,
Exactly.
it will turn into,
Pleasure.
it has to be in your system for at that job. You can't operate a forklift drunk.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't come to work smelling like alcohol. No, all of those different things I give you, but you could drink till you pass out the night before. Get up the next day and come to work. That's not an issue. You can do that as much as you want. That's not an issue. So once marijuana is legalized, it's legally allowed and permitted. You can't tell an individual
in
they
social
can't
settings.
have
Kendra.
that.
It may be legal in social settings, but it does not mean it's going to be legal in job settings because
has
it depends
to
on
be.
what it depends on the state of the job.
If you're taking a certain kind of
Depends on the
medicine,
job.
though, that you prescribed by a doctor, you got to let your job know that.
Yeah.
If you operate a fork, that's the truth.
We're talking
I
about
do know
safety issues. We ain't got nothing to do talking about how you
That's
feeling.
that's
We're talking about
exactly.
it's only safety.
And I'm going
issues.
with that. Yeah, it's
It has
a
nothing to do with
safety
it. And
thing.
so everybody who gets high gets different. Somebody get high and they nod. Somebody get high, get the munchies. Somebody get high.
Look what happened to
can't
Tiger
sleep.
Woods.
Wait,
And he
that's
just won the
two
Masters.
different highs. Hold on.
Yeah, those are all different.
Hold on.
But
Let's
we know
understand
that. We
let's-
ain't even
let
got
smoking
me-
weed. I'm
that-
talking about smoking cannabis. Everybody have a different effect.
No, well,
Sleeping.
they're also listen.
Well,
Cannabis
depends
has
on
a
which
totally
cannabis.
different interaction on the body than food. All right, which we're over consuming in the United States anyway, as alcohol over consuming, as tobacco over consuming, and opiates over consuming. The body is. Again, my experience comes from losing all that. We have to really be what you're saying. Food is way more of a drug,
True.
and cigarettes are way more of a horrible drug than marijuana.
But it's
Every
still. But we have to, when you consider, and this is why you have to sit down and you need to have more discussions about it, and you need to look at it from what is already the effects it has now, regardless of the dispensary. What does the effects have on our community now? And I'm talking about the young people who have not yet figured out their focus, their goals in life. What is it actually doing?
Okay, I have to wrap up the Ferg Show. I have to wrap up the K Ferg Show. But before I go, I do want to end with one last note. And that note being that we're definitely going to draw on this conversation a little bit more, Marcus. But
it's inevitable to the prohibition right now.
The thing of the matter is that what I want everybody to understand is that there was a time that gambling was primarily in the black community. And
the numbers game.
There was the numbers game and so forth. And when the government decided to come and bring in, and when the government decided to come in and bring in the lottery, that alienated all of the black folks who were running numbers and who were
still a couple on the ground.
I'm not saying. You all, this is the please.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, you're right.
So that thank you. This is where you all be quiet. This is a
Rooney moment.
This is right. This is my Andy Rooney moment. So that changed the game tremendously in the black community, and we weren't able to run numbers and so forth. And then the numbers game were making great. We're helping people pay their rent, pay mortgages, buy homes. It was so much that was going on. It was helping to develop our communities. The exact same way that I feel that happened in the campus is again happening the same way with the numbers industry, where they came in, they saw what kind of numbers you guys were making. They saw what you were doing. They saw how you did it. They saw how well you were doing it and decided, let's legalize it and make us a business and get the money and cut you out. So I'm saying to black folks that we need to stand together. We got to rise together and fight against this, not fight against, but fight with the legalization of cannabis, that we definitely have a part of it, and that the cannabis stores that pop up in the black community need to look like the people of the community. I would like to thank each and every last one of my guests for coming on tonight on the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com. But you're absolutely right, Earl. Before I go, I do need to cover any social media that you want to give out, Roger Gardner.
No, you can.
You gotta look it up.
No,
let me. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Mona, you need to look yours up real quick.
MonaComedy.com. MonaComedy.com.
MonaComedy.com. Roger Gardner.
CopticNationTemple.net or Royal Priest Meshach on Facebook.
And also the barbershop is located
6918 Southwestern, Chicago, Illinois.
Images Barbershop. You all go over there and support that great shop, great guy, nice staff, excellent barbers. Marcus Shark.
I got a few things. I want to give a shout out to them original dispensaries down the hill on 122nd off of Indiana back in the day. There was original dispensaries. You remember that? That's right. You don't know nothing about that.
I don't know nothing about that.
And once again, shout out to my baby girls. Taylor Spears graduated from Jackson State University. Seneca Johnson graduated from FAMU. I'm so proud of both of y'all young ladies. Continue to do y'all thing.
So to all the graduates, once again, of 2019, we commend you and we celebrate you. This has been the K Ferg Show on IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeartRadio station. Live, love, laugh. Peace, y'all.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now.
Feed your brain.